Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by once again. And if you're new, please leave me a like and subscribe. It helps out a bunch. And whether you're new or not, please drop a comment in the comment section below. The comments in these videos helps boost them in the YouTube algorithm, and they end up dispersing 2A videos to people that may have never had the chance to see a 2A video before this one, because the more people that are exposed to 2A, the more people will join 2A. That should be the ultimate goal, regardless of whether you like Glocks or SIGs or MMPs or whatever. You know, ultimately, we all should be, trying to grow the 2A community. Today's video is an extremely exciting video. As you can see by the title, I got the chance, finally, to go shoot my Shadow Systems CR920XP and document the 200 round, the spooky 200 round Shadow Systems break-in period. Oh my God. There is two camps to this ideology, if you will. There's the camp, and I have a couple buddies, one specifically, you know who you are, who thinks that there should be no break-in on any gun, and break-ins are unnecessary and unneeded, I guess you could say. I may not be doing his argument justice, but I'm sure you understand where he's coming from. And there's the other side that is okay with the break-in period, and they understand the break-in period, or maybe they even prefer it because it makes them feel like they have a more special kind of like hand fit type pistol or whatever it is, kind of like the Corvette Stingray. The car is limited to like 5,000 RPM until you cross 500 miles, and it's baked into the software of the car. After you hit 500, it opens up the full power band and you're good to go. But until then, they have expected, and they have intentionally designed the car to have a 500 mile break-in period before you can have access the full potential and the full performance of the car. Now obviously cars are different than firearms, but Shadow Systems states something very similar. They say that their guns are manufactured in such a way that the tolerances are tighter. They are a little bit more refined as compared to a Glock. They say that the barrel fitment, here I'll just show you right now. So they state that one of the reasons why they say a break-in is necessary is this little fitment right here, that right there. So the front of the barrel right there contacts the front of the slide, and there is a little bit of material. One, there's like the anodization coating and the coating on the barrel, and of course the dimensions of the metal. There's a little bit of a tolerance measurement there that causes these guns to kind of get hung up when they're brand new, because they're intentionally manufactured with a tighter tolerance, and they're intentionally expecting that after you shoot this gun and do the break-in period, which they do recommend in the manual, that there will be a tighter fit between the slide and the barrel. And that's where your accuracy, a lot of your accuracy, really comes from. Both the Glock Gen 5 and the Shadow Systems pistols have a match grade barrel, so they're both very accurate barrels. But in my experience, and I've had 3 different Shadow Systems. I've had an MR920, I've had an XR920, and I've also had this XR920P, or CR920XP, excuse me. All of them have been noticeably more accurate with a shooter that has been the same skill level about since I've had all these guns. I can shoot tighter groups with the Shadow Systems guns as compared to factory Glock guns, or even like my M&P in some cases. So there has to be something, at least from my experience, there's something there. There's something to the fact that these pistols are claimed to be more accurate, and they actually are. They also state that the fitment between the slide and the frame rails is manufactured in a way that makes them more slidey. I don't know how to explain that, but that aids in reliability, and they state that that was an intentional design choice. However, a lot of reviewers that I've seen out there that do a great job reviewing these guns and kind of showcasing their capabilities, they get this gun out of the box, they put some 115 range ammo through it, and they start shooting it, and they get a couple of hiccups, and they start to dog on the pistol for these hiccups. Now I understand if you're part of this group over here who thinks that break-ins are kind of ridiculous, then you would do the same thing. The thing is if you look at the manual, they actually recommend for the break-in specifically that you use plus P ammo. So anything like, obviously specifically plus P ammo, or like some 124 grain, 147 grain, some defensive rounds, hollow points like, Hornady Critical Duty or Spirit Gold Dot, or in my case, Callaway Ballistics 124 hollow points. Shout out to Callaway, by the way. They make the best I'm going to take a second and tell you about this. They make the best and most affordable remanufactured range ammo out of anybody. All their ammo is great, but their 115 reman specifically 9mm is excellent. I probably have to ask Hal, but I've probably ordered over 10,000 rounds of this ammo from them, and it has always been reliable. I have never had an issue with any of their 115 that derived from the ammunition itself. Usually it's, you know, a broken part or some sort of problem with the gun I was using at the time. But the 115 I have never had an issue with, not even a light primer strike. It has been incredible, and they're a small company. They're super great. They're not sponsoring this video, so don't worry about that yet. You know, maybe we'll do something. But I just want to give them some love and shout them out, and hopefully kind of push some traffic over to them. And you guys will, you know, reap the benefits of getting some of the most affordable and best and cleanest range ammo out there. And actually, I'll show you real quick. I promise it'll be fast. Some of their reman 9mm and their 223. Here is the 223 right here. Look at that, dude. The amount of polishing they do is absurd. They're perfect. They look brand new, and they shoot like they're brand new too. And then here's their 9mm. Winchester White Box is noticeably dirtier and grittier in your hands and in the magazine than this stuff is. And this is remanufactured ammo. Absolutely insane. So shout out to Callaway for making some of the best ammo out there for training and for self-defense with their 124s, like I used in this break-in. Back to what I was saying, they recommend 124s or plus P ammo. If you use 115, you're gonna get some problems initially. Eventually you will be able to break in the pistol with the 115. It'll just take longer, and it might be a little more frustrating because you're gonna have to cycle a few malfunctions out. But if you use defense ammo, I have seen some of these break-ins take one magazine, and in my case it took, like, you know, all in all probably two magazines of 124 grain Callaway hollow points, to where I could then run the 115 without any problems. And it was like that. And I did noticeably feel a difference in how the gun felt after the break-in period. When I first got it, it was a little gritty, a little just like a Glock, kind of the spring squeaks a little bit, you know, and just sounds a little bit jicky. Now, no magazine in there, gun's clear obviously. Yeah, I'll put it up to the mic so you can hear it. Very smooth. Of course it's a Glock, it's not a 2011, but very smooth for a Glock. That's nice. And so there's definitely something to that break-in period for sure. But anyways, regardless of whether you fall on this side of the argument or this side of the argument, Shadow Systems guns are awesome. They're great. They're a Texas-based company. They're actually local over here in Plano. They're a very two-way supportive company. They, you know, have that awesome warranty where if you have to use your firearm in a justified self-defense encounter, they'll replace the firearm. And a lot of times I think they've said before, don't quote me, but I think they said before that they would replace even the attachments you had on the firearm, you know, when it's confiscated for evidence in your investigation, whatever that is. That's pretty awesome. And I think we really should, you know, continue to lift up and prop up these companies that are doing things like that versus some other ones that are doing some shifty stuff on the side, you know, military anyway. And prop up the ones that are good and support them. And Shadow Systems has been doing very well. He said in a video recently, the owner said that they are the 10th largest manufacturer of handguns in the US, which is awesome. That's great. And if they're that big after being so young, they came out in 2016, there's some secret sauce to what they're doing, and they're bringing a value proposition that people do like. And that's something that I recognize and I really appreciate. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, again, please leave a like, subscribe, and a comment, and I will see you in the next video. Range Ben, take it away. All right guys, so finally, after like 2 months of having this gun, I have been putting off shooting it because I wanted to get an honest reaction to any malfunctions in the recommended 200 round break-in period that Shadow Systems recommends. I know some people kind of give that, they kind of gripe at that a little bit because your gun shouldn't have malfunctions from the box. Regardless of how you feel about it, we're gonna go ahead and get this started. I'm gonna start with 115 grain Callaway. Thanks Callaway, appreciate you guys. And allegedly, you will get more malfunctions with 115 during the break-in period because it's not quite as strong or as, you know, powerful of a round. And then if I do get some malfunctions with the 115, I'm gonna swap over to some 124 grain Callaway hollow points, like defensive rounds, And it should only be like a 2 or 3 mag affair for this to be, you know, broken in. I'm literally nervous. It's been like months since I got to shoot this thing, or have had a chance to even go shoot this thing. So as always, Shadow Systems CR920XP. Got the Streamlight TLR7 sub HLX, CNH Precision, EDC enclosed. And we're gonna go ahead and get this thing started, the 200 round break-in period. Cannot wait. Are y'all excited? All right, let's do this. Dude, I'm like shaking. I've anticipated this for so long. I'll do his top right. Nice eye level. Okay, here we go. This is not sighted in either, so we're fresh. Oh, that felt good. Okay, first shot, a little bit of a failure to extract completely, almost a stovepipe, but not quite. Go and clear that out. Second round, felt good though. Yeah, we're definitely low right. It's grouping good. Same thing. So it looks like the 115's not quite enough to fully extract that spent casing. Let's go again. Same thing. It's identical. So it's probably true. You need to run defensive rounds to do this effectively. Here goes another one. This is a big reason why people kind of don't like the Shadow Systems, because they get these malfunctions and they don't know that you're supposed to go through a 200 round break-in. And so they're just like, oh, this gun is shit. It's not working. It's, you know, I paid $1,000 for this, yada, yada. Just do what they recommend. You know, maybe you shouldn't have to do it, or, you know, or not, but just listen to the manufacturer and do it what they say. Here we go. Last one. Okay, so we're already breaking in. So that one fully cycled. There we go. Fifth shot. Nice. Okay, failure to feed, but we were cycling pretty good. So all we're gonna do is pull this one back a little bit, release the pressure on the magazine. There we go. Kind of help that one out a little bit. We got 3 left. And that's it, failure to lock back. So those 115s probably haven't worn out enough. But I love it. It's sick, and I shot really well with it. And we're going to go ahead and do a magazine of 124s. And if we do have any problems, they should be few and far between. So again, these are 124 grain Callaway hollow points. Appreciate the guys at Callaway. Let's see. These are defensive rounds. So can you get a little closer over here? Kind of like a side profile of the gun. There you go. Perfect. Look at that. So we had no malfunctions in 15 rounds of the 124. So it just goes to show you, just listen to what they say. These guns are a little bit more particular with their ammo. The parts have to kind of wear in and break into each other. But as you saw, now that we have, what is that, 2 magazines? So probably 30, 31 rounds. We're already running a full magazine, no malfunctions. And I bet if we did 115, we'd probably be okay. But let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and do another defensive load. And we'll get right back into it. All right, so we just got done with 2 magazines, so we're 31 rounds in. The 115s, little recap, we had malfunctions, failures to extract, and then 1 failure to feed towards the bottom of the magazine. We're not gonna go yet. We're gonna go and run 1 more magazine of defensive rounds, and then we're gonna do the last mag of 15 rounds of standard 115. Once the gun goes through a magazine or 2 of standard 115 without a malfunction, I consider that pretty broken in for me, and I'm gonna break it in even more today as we keep shooting. But for, you know, this initial kind of break-in documentation, we're gonna go ahead and do 1 more magazine of defensive. This is kind of a mishmash of ammo. I don't know what grain weight, I don't know what brand. They're kind of like flat nose, so it may have some problems feeding. We're gonna find out. But no matter what, these are higher than 115 grain, so we should be okay. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. Here we go. Everyone ready? Ears?
Ready.
Okay. It's a little harder to go into the barrel, so yeah, this ammo may not be good for this gun, but we're gonna go ahead and keep going. We're gonna aim bottom target on the head at 7 yards. Okay, here we go. I am so happy with that. Super accurate. The recoil is like nothing on this thing, especially with the compensator on the front and the heavier the defense ammo. The dot is sick. Everything is working great. We had no malfunctions. So let's go ahead and run the magazine of 115. Again, so this is the weak like range ammo. So if we're good with this, we should have a broken in gun. So let's go ahead and get to it. I'm going to aim same spot. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are broken in. I'm going to keep shooting it after this, but like I said, if you listen to the manual, listen to the manufacturer, there's a reason why they ask you to break them in. I don't blame people for having some reservations about needing to break in your pistol, but you should be at least putting 200 rounds through a gun that you want to carry in the first place before you have that on your person and potentially use it for a self-defense encounter to protect you and your family. So in my opinion, 200 rounds should be standard no matter what, but in this case, we just had to break this one in a little bit. But anyway, guys, I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment. If you guys have any questions about this thing or the breaking period, let me know, and I'll do the best I can to help you out. Peace.